Hi, everybody. This is Dave Hodges. I am the host of Hodgeball Critical Sports Analysis. In today's topic, we're going to be discussing the signing of Kawhi Leonard with the LA Clippers. And honestly, this came as quite a shock to me. But before we get into the story, I want to let you know that we're brought to you by the best storable food company in the world. And I think every American needs to have it. So does DHS and so does FEMA. So when our government tells us we should have this, we should. How much? They say 6 months. I know it's hard to accumulate that much. So we sell it in 2 and 4 week packages at 40% off, because you never know when you're going to have a natural disaster or a not so natural disaster, and you're going to wish you had storable food. So ladies and gentlemen, go to preparewithdave.com and get the very best in storable food. It's the best deal in the country. Best price, best tasting. Well, Kawhi Leonard now is a member of the Los Angeles Clippers, and they're going to be good. Make no mistake about it. They're going to be good. They have the ability to go deep into the playoffs. I think that they may even be able to surpass the Golden State Warriors, but I still think that part's in question. But I'm not sure the Warriors are the team that's going to come out of the West. A lot of people are talking about Utah and so forth. But I want to focus on Kawhi Leonard. The young man is an incredible competitor, and I would love to be able to coach him just for a day, just for a practice, to see that fire, that intensity, and that wonderful athletic ability. His mid-range game is terrific. He's improved his shooting through the years and has actually become a threat at the three-point line. He's been nails in critical situation and shooting free throws for the most part. And he is a lockdown defender and a great rebounder for his position. This kid is one of the best players in the NBA. No two ways about it. And as LeBron is starting to slip a little bit, Kawhi Leonard's just coming into his own. Will he become the best player? Well, he may. He has a chance now that Kevin Durant may never be the same because of that tragic Achilles injury problem. So what do we see that's going to happen with the Clippers, and why did Kawhi do it? Well, first of all, let's go back in his history. It almost appears as if he can't be happy wherever he's at. And I'm not saying this as a knock, but we're 2 for 2 in that statement now. He was with San Antonio. Now, we know San Antonio's coach is a taskmaster. But I also want you to notice that players like Ginobili and Duncan, the mainstay players, they were there for years. In some cases, almost 2 decades. And they won 5 championships, and Kawhi Leonard was able to join in one of those. So answer the question for me. Why would you leave Greg Popovich, generally considered to be the best coach in the NBA, the best basketball coach in America, and why would you leave and go to Toronto? Toronto had made the playoffs. They had become a decent team, but there was no indication they were ever going to go before the first round or go beyond the first round because they never had. So why would he make that move? Well, they did bring in some good complementary pieces. So he probably thought we got a chance, but he left because what he didn't like in San Antonio, which seemed to be their medical staff, and he didn't let Popovich make it up to him or work with Popovich. So he goes to Toronto, and all he does is win a title. And here we have to take our hat off and say, no Kawhi Leonard, no title. He was the key piece. Now, I know in the final game, the elimination game, he wasn't a heck of a factor in the fourth quarter, but the young guy carried him through the playoffs. His numbers were unbelievable. And after 1 year and the real good possibility of being able to repeat, now, yeah, I know Milwaukee's good and there's other threats that are emerging, but I think Toronto would have been the odds-on favorite to win it again with Kawhi Leonard. He almost acts like a young man who thinks he's going to live forever. Now, he's won 2 titles in 2 cities. That's remarkable. Now, maybe his ego says 3 titles in 3 cities. But I got bad news for you. It ain't going to happen with the Clippers. You got your max deal, but you could have had more money with Toronto. I don't get why he stayed. Do you understand why he stayed? Or why he didn't stay, why he went to the Clippers? I don't get it. Perhaps you can explain it to me. This is not a knock on him. If I'm drafting teams, I don't get into fantasy basketball. But if I did, he'd be among the first people I'd draft. I think this kid, this young man, is just such a terrific talent. He really has no weakness in his game. So he'd be one of my first choices, if not the first choice. But why would you pack up and leave a championship team in a city that adores you? And Toronto is a metropolitan city, a lot to do, a lot of fun. Now, people say, well, Kawhi is from L.A., but the Clippers? Also says how bad the Lakers are in their front office, at least from his perspective, doesn't it? Leave your comments below in the comment section. I'm anxious to see why you think Kawhi Leonard made the switch. And while you're at it, and we'll do this in future broadcasts, tell us what you think of all the partnering of NBA players with their, shall we say, collegial all-star companions. We'll see you back here again next time. Thank you for joining us here on Hodgeball Critical Sports Analysis.